So as you guys saw with Terrell, we did that video about meme coins, and obviously there's been a lot of interest from you guys as to how do you get involved and make profits like he did from 1,000 to 70K, or how to go to $1,000 to 100 to 100 to $1 million. So today's video, we're actually going to look at how do you do that, where do you start, how you can get involved in the Solana ecosystem, and I'm going to share another ecosystem which you guys can get involved with, which looks to have a large opportunity in the summer. All right, so how do you get started? There's some lessons I've learned very early on with meme coins, and it's this. It's who is the person doing the meme coin, because who is doing it, the group behind it, and if there's a person behind it that's doxed, or at least that people know, that is a very important part. We learned that with Ryoshi and Shiba. Anything that Ryoshi's been involved with, or that his inner circle's been involved with, have done extremely well because they cracked the formula how to make a meme coin turn into $1 billion market cap. Now we saw that with Pepe, and we're seeing that with Brett and other projects across other ecosystems, but Solana is cheap and easy to get in, so you're not paying exorbitant gas fees so that you can actually go in and out of coins and make nice little bits of profit. Think about this before you start as the casino. Now at the casino, you know that the odds are stacked against you, so they're likely gonna lose your whole money the more you play. With meme coins though, as long as you're not greedy and don't go with too big of a size, think about how you would play a slot machine where you could put $2 in, pull the lever, and you're probably gonna lose most of the time, but when you win, you're gonna hit a jackpot and win like 500 bucks, right? That's how meme coins work. So in this case, I'm gonna teach you guys in this video, so don't go anywhere, how to get the edge and who you should be following and how you can find your own meta so that you're not even at a position where you're losing most of the time. You can be in a position where you're breaking even or making a profit more often than you're actually losing. So when you're looking at a meme, what's the most important factor? Well, number one, is it something that like makes you laugh, right? If it's something that like you see it and you're like, it's not that funny, then you're probably not going to get involved with it, right? But if you look at a meme and you're just like burst out laughing and it's on pump.fun or it's called in a group that you know and you think that it's actually funny, these are probably the most important things to look for, because memes started off because they're funny, because there's something you can resonate with, that you feel something for, that you feel like other people would also find quite funny. In general, that's like the main key piece, because there is no utility mainly with a meme. It is mainly based off of a community that gets behind it, right? And some things turn out to be more than a meme later because they get too big to just be a meme, like Shiba did with Shibarium and all the other stuff that's coming out with that. So when you're looking at memes, another thing is very important is what is a trend. So we saw with Dog with Hat and everything became with hat, right? Now you're seeing the political themed ones. So you're seeing the Nancy Pelosi, the Joe Biden, the Super Trump and the MAGAs and the MAGA with hat and the Trump with hat. So you see that actually they stay on the same trend, but they actually all seem to do quite well. So it's very good to understand to follow the trend and not second guess and sit there and go maybe. By the time you said maybe 3 times to yourself, you've already lost a huge amount of profitability, because the lower you get in, the higher the amount that you're going to make. So how do you find a good meme coin? It's very simple. We talked about this earlier, Telegram groups. So make sure you're following good Telegram groups. So there's the MemeCoin group that we talked about with Terrell the other day, Terrell's group. I'm going to start my own group. There's Kyle Chase to follow. There's Rin. There's other good people that call great meme coin plays, so it's good to follow these people. And if there's paid groups, generally the paid ones are the ones that are going to give you the best alpha earliest. So that's why you should be looking for sometimes those types of groups. But if you can't afford it, it's still okay. Just make sure that you're following people that are making good calls. And the way to do research is to see what they called and see how the performance was, right? Because you can see the time they called it, go to the chart, see the time it called. If it goes up a lot of the time when they call it, that might be something to do well. If it's not going up and holding, then you know those type of callers are good for flipping. And then if it's something that actually holds a value and starts building a lot of the time from a lot of their calls, then you know to like have a moon bag and still take your initial out. Even in MemeCoin's groups or Terrell's groups, or even if I have a group, right? What a lot of people should be doing is taking a small amount and putting it in when the first call comes in, because the second you ask too many questions and you start trying to figure out utility for a meme is the second you lose all the opportunity to actually win. So suspend your disbelief of why this meme will do well. If the right people are calling it, who generally get the trend right, just kind of ape in a small amount, and then you can add to it later if you see that it's actually starting to do well. So obviously this isn't for every meme, right? Some of them you're going to go in and they're going to go up. Like I called one the other day and said, hey, I'm looking at this one, Drifty. Drifty went up 2x. and then I could see it was stagnating and kept coming down every time it went 2x. So I just exited, right? And you make like a quick flip of that token because you see that it's kind of losing steam and that there's nothing really coming. Because after you enter that ape, you need to do the research, right? And if you see that like nothing's really there, the wallets holding it are all kind of flipping in and out, you can obviously tell that maybe you should start thinking about this might not be a long-term one. Versus like a Nancy Pelosi, where there's like a lot of follow through and people keep working, or Gummy has a lot of follow through, people keep working. Chippy seem also to have follow through, and like Jordan's involved, obviously, so he's a big influencer. He's not going to ruin his name by like dumping the coin on his entire community. If he did that, it would just ruin all of his reputation that he built up over years. So that's something to keep in mind. Who's involved is very important, because if there's a big player involved and they have a face and a name and they're doxxed, they're not going to want to be attached to a coin that's low cap and destroy their reputation, which is also why a lot of people don't have their face doxxed on a meme coin. So when they are doxxed, it gives you really good confidence that these people are generally trying to lead you down the right direction. All right, so one major aspect to look at is liquidity. And now I know a lot of people don't really understand this, so I'm gonna try and break this down for you really quickly, but it's extremely important, just like tokenomics can be. So what I wanna do is just kind of show you how, when you add liquidity, how this works and how you can understand it better. So think about liquidity as simple as this. You have to add a token for 50% of it and the actual blockchain token or USDC on the other side. So it has to be a 1-to-1 ratio. Now, I'm going to show you an example how this works. And it becomes a supply and demand thing. As you have more liquidity, as people buy more Solana into this token, and I'm going to show you an example with chippies first, then you actually have less chippies, more Solana, so now the price increases because there's a supply been bought up and there's more Solana in there, so the price holds a higher floor, right? So how this works is very simple. So let's use chippies as an example. So I went on Radium. You go on any DEX and you can add liquidity at any time. Whether it's ETH, Solana, it doesn't matter. You click on liquidity and you add the token. So you'd go on here and you'd click the actual token right here from the chippy side, and you'd go and then put it into liquidity, and this is what will pop up. So as you can see, there's pooled Solana and there's pooled chippy. Very simple to understand. So if you have 1,149 Solana, how much does that actually equal? If we go on a calculator and we actually do the math, 1,149 Solana multiplied by 180 is equal to $206,000 liquidity. And if we go over here and we look at the liquidity, it shows $415,097 liquidity, which is exactly half the amount of liquidity. And if we go on here and we look at how much chippy there's 17.75 million chippy. And if you go and do the math, so you go to your calculator, and you go 17.75 million, right? And then we multiply it by 0.117 cents, we will see that there's $207,000. So basically it's almost exactly, it is actually exactly because I'm rounding up and down. But basically what I'm trying to help you understand is that there's an equal amount on each side. So let me give you another example to help you understand this a little bit better. We go to With Mega, it's just launched right now. And as you can see, there's only 270 pooled Solana, right? So 270 Solana times 180 is a little bit of liquidity. It's only $48,600 on the Solana side. What that means is if you buy, let's say $10,000 of $50,000 liquidity, you now own 20% of the supply that's on the market, which means that you're gonna have a slippage of like 20%. Slippage means that you're gonna buy higher value because you're gonna push the price up very, very fast. So when you see there's $200,000 on the Solana side versus $50,000 on the Solana side, you should take your risk and go, well, if I wanted to put 1,000 in at 200,000, I should actually put 1/4 of that into a lower cap coin because it's equal to the same amount that I'm actually buying in. And majorly, the most important part is that if the price goes up a lot, you can actually sell it without pushing the price down. So it's something to actually take in consideration that when you're looking on the liquidity on the chart, you have to see, for example, something like Trump coin on ETH, just to give you a good example, has multi-millions of dollars of liquidity. It's $8.51 million, meaning there's $4.25 million of Ethereum in that pool. So if you buy $10,000 and the price goes down a bit, you still can sell a lot. Or the price goes up a lot, you still can sell a lot. But if there's very small amounts, you can't buy a lot and you can't sell a lot because there's just not enough actual Solana or ETH there to sell into. So that's how you have to understand liquidity, and that should be how you make your decisions to either put a bigger buy order or a smaller buy order. Now, if you're someone who only has a few $100s to play with meme coins, well, then you shouldn't put a $300 if that's all your money into one meme coin. You should be spreading it and putting in $50 to $100 into coins and actually giving yourself a chance, because some of them are going to do like a 10x and you're going to make a lot of money and quickly, and some of them are going to literally lose 90% of your capital if you hold too long. So the next thing to look at to not get wrecked and rugged is very important, and it's literally how is the supply distribution done. So I'm going to actually use a project that I love that you all know in Osaka protocol to show you actually what a good distribution will look like. Now, if you go on Osaka or any coin, it will always let you go to the Explorer where it says view contract. So you click on that and it will show you on all of the ETH scan, Sol scan, base scan, all the scanners will show you holders. So if you click on that and you see that there's a quite good distribution. So we know that with Osaka, 24% almost is burned, 50% was burned to Ryoshi's wallet. So there's a small amount. Now, if you see there's a picture of a contract, that means likely those are contracts that are locked up, whether it be for staking, whether it be for putting them on exchanges. Like right here, you can see Uniswap, and you can see Uniswap V3 and V2. So you can see where the money is actually going. Then you look at who has how much and where is it. So for people to have 0.3% of entire supply, that's not really that bad. That's good. You want to see a lot of wallets under 1 or 2%. It's okay to have a few that are higher, but you really want to have a good distribution, and you also want to see how many people are actually holding it. As you can see with Osaka, there's 6,140 people holding, but they have theirs across many different chains. So distribution is really important when we look at how many holders, how much do they have of supply, because if someone has a huge amount of supply and sniped the entire contract with a sniper bot because they didn't add liquidity properly, then you could have one guy who was like 20% of the entire supply, and those people, when the price goes up, can jump on you and rug you, basically soft rug you. The teams can do that. So it's good to see who has what. So the first thing I look at is how many holders do you have? And another thing I like to look at is, are the holders increasing? Because if holders are increasing regularly and the price is increasing regularly, it means that there's a lot of actual people finding the project and liking it and going into that meme. So we can see that there's 46,700 holders for Gummy, and because there's that many holders, there's been an airdrop, so a lot of people got some, but there's a good distribution of how many people have this token. And what we can do is click on this the Sol Scan contract, and we can actually find out how many people hold how much. It's very important. So you click on the holders on here, you can see there's actual big wallet holders, right? But in these big wallets, right, it seems that this would likely be because the amount of tokens are so fixed. It's likely that these are team wallets, right? And because there's team wallets, it's good. Now, this is a little bit scary seeing about, most of the supply in the first 10 holders. That is something that could be a very big risk, but the people calling Gummy are actually putting their name to it, or like Ran. So he's definitely done research and probably knows something, which is why you go into these types of groups. So you can find out which ones are a little bit more trustworthy when the distribution's off. If you want to get into a new ecosystem, which I think will have a summer of meme coins, look into Base. I'm going to be doing a video, and I'm going to be calling a bunch of projects that are on Base with a new project called Brute. You may see them actually advertised right now on Dex Tools, and Dex Tools actually retweeting what they're doing. This is something very interesting. I'm going to give you guys on another video this, and I think you're going to love what they're doing, because it will even let you become someone who could launch a meme coin. But I'll save that for another day. Make sure that you watch this video, like this video, subscribe to this video so that you can see the next one, put the notifications on, because that video will literally teach you not only how to make your own meme coin, but how to find new meme coins, and something that I'm working on with them that you're going to want to follow, and you will be able to without even having to do anything, because I'm going to share the wallet. So right now what I'm looking at is Osaka, him, and HI. I'm looking more into Gummy because Rand keeps talking and hinting about it, which obviously is very, very bullish. Paloozi seems like they're not going to give up on this very quickly, and they're going to keep pushing and trying to bring that back, and make sure that you take profit, and you can be someone who turns $1,000 wallet into a $100,000 wallet. And if you do it really right, you can take that $100,000 and turn it into $1 million.